Hey everyone, and welcome to our first league racing video on F1 22. It's AFR Season 9, Round 1 at Bahrain, and we're looking to finally this season break my drought of no Tier 1 podiums in AFR. We've had the pace in previous seasons to be able to do it, but it's unfortunately just not fallen our way for whatever reason, totally not related to my lack of skill in the game. It's going to be much more difficult though, as some of you will already know if you've been watching the career mode videos, we have turned off line on this game. So hopefully we can get a good start with this first race heading into qualifying now. I hate this fucking game. Maybe not. I've got no force feedback now. Yeah, not the best start to this league racing season. So, after that little hiccup, we finally got into our first qualifying lap in the session with 11 minutes to go. I'm going to speed this lap up, but you'll notice we're not entirely confident with our braking points around Bahrain just yet. It's never been one of my stronger tracks on previous games with the line on, so I was struggling quite a bit to just consistently nail braking points and turning in points and everything, especially in the race as well. One lap pace I wasn't too bad, disregarding this lap, but race consistency was something I was really struggling with still in practice. Anyway, coming around the final corner, heading onto the finish line here, we crossed the line, setting a 29.195, and yeah, you heard me, maybe. Not very happy with that lap, unsurprisingly, it wasn't a great one. Anyway, 5 minutes remaining in the session. We head out for our next lap. Around the final corner. Much better exit than the last time. Activating DRS pretty much perfectly as well. Now heading down this main straight. Getting ready for the heavy braking zone into turn 1. Braking just before the 100 meter board down into second gear. Short shifting to fourth on the apex. Trying to get as early on the power as possible. Fifth gear on the apex of turn 2. Taking a bunch of curb and heavy on the power all the way down this straight, heading into turn 4, braking just before the 100 meter board again, down to fourth, short shifting to fifth on the exit. As we cross into sector 2, we're up nearly, or just over 2.5 tenths already, going through turns 6 and 7, leading into turn 8, braking much better than our previous lap, just missing the apex still, but gaining a bunch of time there. Now up over half a second as we head into the difficult braking zones of turn 9 and 10. Again, late on the brakes, down to fourth gear, on the power just after the apex. A little bit of wheel spin there, cost us a little bit, but overall still massively up on our previous lap, heading into turn 11. Again, braking a bit between the 150 meter boards, missing the apex slightly, which cost us a little bit with our run through turn 12, leading into turn 13, ending sector 2 as well, and we're just under 6 tenths up as we head on to this straight, leading into the final corner. Gaining time all the way along this straight, so our exit was definitely better than our previous lap. Braking nice, about the 70 meter board, heading into the final corner, down to fourth, short shifting to fifth on the exit. Gaining more time there, activating DRS, and we cross the line to set a 28.594. Not great, puts us P9, but we'll certainly take that for now. How much time do I need? Unfortunately, due to that little hiccup at the start with our force feedback, we didn't have enough time at the end to set another lap. I did try and get out, but there just wasn't enough time at all in the end. Probably needed 2 minutes to guarantee that we get out of the pit lane and be able to start, but there was roughly a minute 20 left, I think, by the time we actually tried to get out. So we retired from the session, and because of that, unfortunately, the best we could manage in qualifying was P14. But you'll see the times from P4 all the way down to us in P14 were all within 4 tenths of each other. So once again, Tier 1 proving to be very close between all the drivers. We're really looking forward to this sprint race now. That's the new format as well for Tier 1. Now that the tyre rule no longer applies, we have replaced full qualifying with short qualifying and sprint races for all rounds. So a lot more points on offer, probably a lot more chaos as well. We're going to start on the mediums. We've taken a bunch of fuel out as well because we do not burn fuel in this game. Trin in the Red Bull starting on softs. So very interesting to see where he'll end up in this sprint race. Very interesting to see if they'll even last the full sprint race distance. 10 laps is quite a long way to go on the softs. As we get ready now for 5 red lights. and I've completely missed the start. Absolutely shocking. Cold tyres, no formation lap because of some stupid tyre temp bug. We've been jumped by Kebab, we've been jumped by Ali, we've been jumped by Pondon. We're down 3 positions already as we head into turn 1. Trying to gain some of them back. A little bit of contact with Pondon, struggling to slow the car down as Mikau's lost the rear end. Massive incident there between multiple drivers. And we've somehow come out unscathed and back up to P14. No idea how that's happened. Yeah, as I said, more points on offer, more chaos. Yeah, but now we're just going to try and settle in behind Seb and Ali, both drivers moving up from Tier 3. Seb winning the championship down there from memory. And yeah, both of them looking to rediscover their form from previous seasons in Tier 1. So hopefully they both do quite well as Trin goes straight ahead there at turn 10. I believe he actually somehow managed to get front wing damage from that incident at turn 1 and 2. So he's going to be really struggling now through this sprint race. The soft tyres will probably help him a little bit to maintain position, but he's going to struggle quite a bit as we go through towards the end of this first lap now, managing to hold on to P14 still. But we might actually struggle here to hold the back of this train. You can see there's already a gap starting to appear between Apollo, Pepsi and the Ferrari, so the biggest winner out of that incident, and Trin in P10. So obviously that damage really affecting him quite a bit at the moment as we finish lap 1, the very first lap in this new AFR season. On to lap 5 because nothing happened because we were stuck in a DRS train. Fever setting the fastest lap of the sprint race. We're again still stuck in DRS. We're trying to get as close as possible into turn 1 here. Maybe we'll have an opportunity on the exit, braking quite a bit later than Seb. Looking for maybe a way around the outside into turn 2, but nothing doing there. Seb's just too far in front. He's able to control the line through there and defends quite well. We're just going to have to sit in behind him again for this next lap and hope for an opportunity later down the line. On to lap 7 though, and we are much, much closer this time. Seb also very, very close to the back of Pondon, the two of them going side by side into turn 1. We brake later than both of them. Managing to get a bit of a switch back here. Maybe we'll be able to get a better run through turn 2, and we do. We're going to activate our battery, activate DRS, look around the outside of both of them into turn 4. But unfortunately, we're going to brake far too late here. That now opens the door for both of them to get back up the inside, and Mikau up the inside of us, taking a far better line through there. He's going to hold the inside through turn 6. We're going to try and hold the inside back through turn 7, but we can't get the traction down. We're going to dive it up the inside of 8, hoping to hold onto this position. A little bit of contact, and that's us spun around.
God, Mikau,
I did initially blame Mikau for that. I thought he hadn't left enough room initially, but unfortunately, that was just down to the contact model of the game. The car just went completely light after the contact, and I had no control over the car, essentially. But Potsy taking the win in the sprint race. We come across the line, not gaining anything, not losing anything in P14. So, could have been better, could have been worse as well. No points for us. Feber down in P5 after starting on sprint race pole. So, don't know how that happened. Last season's champion, but yeah, must have had a pretty poor race there. Don't know what happened. Anyway, getting ready now for the Grand Prix start after seeing how well Trin managed to start the sprint race before he unfortunately got damage. We're gonna switch over to starting on softs. You can see initially I was gonna try and start on the hards and switch onto the meds later. At least get that warming phase done nice and quickly on the hards, but yeah, it looked like the soft tyres might be the best tyre to start on, especially without a formation lap and no tyre temps. So that's what we decided to go with. Again, taking a bunch of fuel out of the car as well. We're going to adjust our tyre pressures as well because tyres were sort of struggling for temperature a little bit in the sprint race. Didn't quite have the grip that I wanted. So we're going to up them a little bit and see how we go. Again, looking to see maybe other strategies, but I think the soft tyres is a good decision. A bunch of people around us starting on mediums and hards as everyone makes their final adjustments to their setups, and hopefully we'll be able to jump Pondon, Seb, and Mikau around us and gain a couple of positions off the start as we get ready for 5 red lights to start the first Grand Prix of Season 9. And away we go, and we get a much better start than those around us. Seb going absolutely nowhere on his hards. Mikau losing a bunch of traction on his medium tyres. Pondon going nowhere as well, and we're up to P11 already. Trin up the inside of Pepsi there, looking for a way through. We've got Pondon now up our inside, as Pepsi's lost the rear end on his mediums. Really, those cold tyres have not helped him at all. We're up to P12 as we exit turn 2 and 3. Heading into turn 4, Jackson's gone straight ahead on his soft tyres, so he's struggling for grip as well. Pondon following his teammate through. We're going to see if we can get close through turn 7. Maybe we'll have an opportunity into turn 8 as everyone checks up. Getting up the inside of Pondon, we've got just in front of the apex, but we don't really have the traction here. Crush really struggling on his mediums combined, losing the rear end. We fly straight past him, heading into turn 9 and 10. Still battling with Pondon. He's up our inside, but we cannot get the move done around the outside. A little bit of contact on the exit. He gets a much worse exit, though. Our soft tyres now fully up to temperature, while his med's still struggling for a bit of temp. Try and get around the outside at turn 11, but we just can't quite manage it. He manages to cut us off on the exit. Again, we're right on the back of him here. I thought there was maybe a way through on the inside of turn 12, but nothing doing there. Going to have to try and sit behind here, but he goes deep at turn 13, and that gives us the run along this straight. We're going to have the inside now, finally, to the final corner here. He gives us a massive squeeze to the inside. Bunch of contact there. We managed to outbrake him there, get that position done, and by the end of lap 1, we are up into P10. Potential for points is very, very high right now. And maybe we can hold on to this to the end of this race. I don't know if we can move much further forward, but very, very happy with that start to the race. On to now, the start of lap 3. And we've managed to break DRS to the cars behind us, but unfortunately we do not have access to DRS to the cars in front. Sorry, the end of lap 3, not the start. So, yes, we've got the gap to the cars behind, but we are not getting the benefit of DRS at all, and you can see that gap in front of us just opening up. We're just being dropped on the straights now. We have no straight line speed compared to those in front of us with DRS, and we're going to really struggle here. But we've got yellow flags in the final sector, Ferrari in the wall, and that is a safety car. So, soft runners, this was absolutely perfect, but there was a little bit of debate whether it would be worth going on the hards to the end now with 25 laps remaining in this race. That is a very, very long time to take the hard tyres, even with the safety car period. And I didn't think it was possible. Along with a couple of others, we've all decided to chuck the medium tyres on and have the option to go to another set of mediums or softs at the end of the Grand Prix. And hopefully that'll work out better than the hard runners that are going to be very much struggling to get to the end of this race without incurring some sort of puncture or some severe tyre wear in the dying laps of this race. But getting ready for the safety car restart now. Rear tyres really, really struggling with temperatures here. It's going to be a very, very iffy restart.
Rears are on 79 degrees.
As the leaders have already gone, we've completely missed the jump. We've hit the apex curb of the final corner, which has completely unsettled the car. Our rears are ice. That is arguably one of the worst restarts I've ever had on an F1 game. But anyway, we've held our position. We're in P11, so a couple of drivers deciding not to pit under that safety car. Interesting strategy. A couple of leaders and a couple of guys behind us. But bunch of hard runners in front of us that are going to be struggling even more than us with tyre temps, and we should be able to get some positions here. Trin looking up the inside of Seb and Ekim that are battling. He's going to get them on the exit of this corner. That's 3 wide into turn 6. Seb deciding to back out, and Trin getting both of them through the next corner. Really nice move from him. He's then going to check up the two of them, and we might have an opportunity into turn 8 on Ekim, but we're not close enough, and we can't quite get far enough alongside by the apex to get the better exit. Ekim getting a far better exit than Seb on the exit of that corner though, but not having the opportunity into turn 10. Again though, a much better exit onto this second DRS straight. He's got the toe all the way into turn 11, looking to the outside. He's going to brake early, get the switch back through turn 11, putting him on the outside for turn 12, but with much better traction, much better straight line speed, and he's going to get around the outside of Seb, or is he? As Seb brakes later into turn 13, managing to stick alongside, heading along this straight into the final corner. We're going to maybe have an opportunity into the final corner here, but I decided to back out, let them go too wide ahead, maybe have an opportunity into after the exit, but we turn in too early trying to find the apex there, couldn't quite see it between them, and Eka manages to get through on Seb. We've now got a run on both of them though. We're going to burn a bunch of battery here, trying to get right up behind Seb, maybe go for the move into turn 1, braking much later than Seb, trying to get the run through turn 1, maybe get around the outside of turn 2, but he just manages to stay in front of us and squeeze us out on the exit. Again though, we've got much better traction though. We're going to have another opportunity into turn 4. Can we do it? But no, we've again broken too late, and this is where you're going to see quite a lack of confidence in my braking ability without the racing line. You can see again backing out in turn 6, just not the confidence there. Braking far later into turn 8 though, despite not really having the opportunity for a move there. Again getting much better traction here as well, leading into 9 and 10, but again being forced to back out. And you can see I'm getting quite frustrated at this stage, making a little bit of contact with Seb on the apex there, which has unsettled his car. We're again going to have better traction, and again we're looking up the inside, but again no confidence under braking versus Seb, and we've backed out again. So we've now been stuck behind Seb for nearly 2 laps on our fresh mediums versus his hards, and it's just compromising our race just from a lack of confidence on my own part for getting the move done. Again, we're trying to close in here. We've burnt almost all our ERS already over these 2 laps after the safety car, nearly making contact again into the final corner. So we're so inconsistent on our braking. We're going to have the run here though. We're going to use a bunch of ERS on the exit to just get alongside, but we don't want to get too far in front. We want to make sure we have DRS on this next straight. Again, braking late into turn 1. Seb brakes later, locking up his fronts though. That gives us the run through turn 1, keeping us in front through turn 2 and allowing us to control the line. And that move finally done. Took us 2 laps to get that move done, so a lot of work to be done in confidence with overtaking with the line off. On to lap 14, I was hoping we'd be able to pull away from the hard runners, but unfortunately,
I'm literally just
we've not been able to do that at all. We've got Big L behind us on hards as Pondon pits onto a set of hards as well, I believe. Yeah, Big L's going to get past us quite easily here. Our mediums are now starting to die at 43% on the worst worn tyre, so we're really, really struggling at this stage. Big L's, pretty much just going to drive away from us a bit here. Those hard tyres now actually starting to work, and we just don't have the consistency at the moment with the line off, and it's costing us a lot of time. You can see Eckham's also pulled 3.6 on us with his hard tyres as well, and I think Trin was further in front as well, maybe another second. So now out to nearly 6 seconds to Trin. So really struggling here. We're going to pit now, heading into the pits. Braking nice and late.
1k over.
I honestly have no idea how that wasn't a penalty either. I guess
told me I was speeding and then I said it wasn't.
To the list of bugs for Codemasters to fix. That 100% should have been a 5-second penalty though. Anyway, switching to the soft tyres, we've got 11 laps to do on these tyres, so we're going to be really pushing it. The softs only just made it for people in the sprint race, which was 10 laps, but I had confidence that we'd be able to get them to the end from here, and hopefully effectively. Again, hard runners, those that haven't pitted yet, really going to struggle to the end of this race. But now we've got to chase down, again, Big L and Seb, both on medium tyres, both undercutting us. Lap 23, we finally managed to do that, but only because Big L's unfortunately disconnected from the race.
So frustrating.
And with no ghosting turned on in this league, AI drivers are the most frustrating thing to try and get past. You can see all 3 of us, Trin, Seb and myself, getting massively held up here. The AI just being incredibly unpredictable, very, very hard to race against in multiplayer, and it's really hampering all of us. You can see that Pondon behind us on hards is closing in quite quickly as we're still stuck behind. Trin trying to get a run on the AI into the final corner. I think he made contact actually. You can see the AI having a loss of the rear end out of the final corner. So Trin manages to get past. Seb manages to get past as well with some DRS. We don't have any battery though, so we're going to struggle here. We're going to have to do this under braking into turn 1. again, the AI is sort of not leaving us much space, and we've actually managed to get hooked on it through the next part of corner, and that's cost us
I got my rear wheel
the
caught by
second
the fucking
to
AI
7
as well.
trin in front. So, yeah, Cody's fix your multiplayer AI, please. They're a pain. Anyway,
It was worth the gamble,
lap
to be fair.
26,
Yeah, he's
Big L reconnected to the race, thankfully. So he might still be able to get some points. We'll see how he goes. But our soft tyres, you can see the rears are both nearly, or already are, 50%. So the softs at this stage are dead. They've got no pace. Seb was quite a bit quicker than us. On lap 27, Al's managed to catch up to these two.
Yeah,
We're
I'm on
sort of
60% on my
almost
rears,
catching
pretty
them
much.
as well. But as we go down this straight, Big Al's taken a hard right there, and he's out of the race.
What the fuck did Al just do?
I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but
No,
we
he
nearly
wasn't an
we nearly
AI, he was
retired from that
driving
as
around.
well. I believe his wheel
like his wheel
disconnected. I'm
disconnected
not
or
really
something.
sure though. I can't
He just turned
remember
right.
exactly what he said happened, but yeah, very unfortunate for Al. He probably had the best opportunity out of all of us to scrounge up points. On lap 27, we've got Hero in the Alfa Romeo pitting with a puncture
so.
on hard compound tyres with 1 lap remaining in this race. Well, sorry, 2 laps remaining in this race, so I believe it's Eckham, the one hard runner out in the lead still. He could be seriously in danger of getting a puncture, along with a bunch of other hard runners at the end of this race. So points aren't completely off the table at this stage, as Hero's come out in front of us on softs. But unfortunately, no more punctures from any more hard runners. Eckham taking the win on the one-stop strategy, clearly the better strategy in the end. And we're going to come across the line in P13.
78% of my rear left because I crossed the line.
Not great. We probably didn't have the pace of points anyway by the looks of it, but we clearly made a mistake with strategy and yeah, just didn't have the consistency in the end. But great win by Eckham. I believe that's his first win in Tier 1. I can't remember if he got one last season. There were quite a lot of races that I unfortunately missed towards the end of last season. But very well done by him. As for us, it could be a while before we get our podium in Tier 1. There's a lot of practice needed, especially I think Saudi is our next track, which very, very difficult to learn without the line. I'm quite off the pace, but I am going to be sweating all week to hopefully get us off our points duck as early as possible. If you want to tune in for that stream next Sunday, 6:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, and if you are new and enjoying the content, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Apart from that, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and we'll see you all for the next video.